Hey there, hey there. Come on over here. Come here, come here. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. So, hey, listen. I was just minding my business, literally, and thinking that I could continue going through this life hiding behind the fact that, like a phoenix, I always rise out of the ashes. And there's no real need to have to tell the story of how that always happens. I thought that I could just get through. I could heal whatever was feeling like it was bothering me at any given time, and I could just keep moving forward. You know, God said, not this time, baby girl. Now it's time for you to share this amazing, crazy story of mine that it didn't just begin, even though it's only been, this is what's so amazing. It's been about 1 year exactly since I had a major change in my life that caused a tremendous transformation, right? But I have been through many transformations before that maybe other people didn't see, but I've always known. And so I've had this superpower type thing that when stuff happens, I'm able to transmute that energy. I'm able to, alchemize the outcomes so that I don't hold on to the negativity, right? I mean, I go through some stuff, but then I go through it and I get through it and I'm thankful to God for it and I keep moving forward until now. God said, who my father said, listen, girl. So now it's time to tell the story. Now it's time to share the journey because there's one person, 100 people, 1,000,000 people, I don't know, who need to hear this story and understand that it may be my story, but it's His glory. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to get the messages out that I've been mandated. Like I cannot get it out of my spirit, out of my ear, out of my. I don't get to sit back and just not talk about it anymore because somebody needs to know that those very things that I have been able to come through. And baby, when I tell you, I don't look like what I've been through. And I ain't talking about just the recent things that have happened over the last year. That was what catapulted me to this new beginning. I'll admit that. Oh, baby, but this story, this story, this story started before I ever even came to this dimension, before I even came to this place of lessons and learning. It started with the contracts that I said, I can do it. Oh, send me. I can do it. Literally, before I was in my mother's womb, God already knew my story. He also knew that I would be obedient. He also knew exactly what the outcome would be. And baby, you don't get no better outcomes than the outcomes that God gives you. So I'm going to take some time and I'm going to tell my story. And let me put some, what is the word? When you're going to warn people at the onset that I may say some things that may trigger some folk. They may think I'm talking about them. Truth is, I probably will be. Now, I'm not going to call no names, right? I've got a whole history of things that have uh, transpired throughout my life that I realized when I really stopped to look at it might have caused others to just end it. Like I ain't going to, I'm not going to do that. I can't deal with this. This is too much. The burden's too heavy. How am I going to get out of this type thing? And somehow, for as long as I can remember, literally, problems have always existed, but I've always known internally that, yeah, these weapons, they're going to be formed, but they're not going to prosper. You just have to take the energy and transmute it. And I mean, I've been doing that all of my freaking life. And it's only now that God is saying, girl, you got to tell the story. Because people aren't going to believe it. But for those that this is for, and this ain't going to be for everybody. And this ain't no, let me call you out and name, blame, and all. It's none of that. This is because I happen to understand and know, and now able to clearly articulate that, oops, excuse me. See, that's that thing where you want to get it out and it kind of gets stuck right here. But God said, no, you're going to let it out. Now it's time to let it out. But this journey that I'm about to embark on, it's primarily for me. Because God had already told me, unless you open your mouth and you say what I tell you to say, because there's somebody that needs to hear this. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably be like, I ain't telling why I'm going to tell. I'm embarrassed. I'm shamed. I have guilt. I have remorse. Because I let all this stuff happen. Or what was wrong with me? Was I gullible? Was I, really just foolish? Maybe a little bit here and a little bit there. But I have an inner knowing, an inner wisdom, an inner knowledge of who I am now. And I've always known. I've always tried to hide it. I've always tried to push it down. I didn't want to seem special. I didn't want my light to outshine because what I learned over the course of time is people don't like your gift. They don't want you to shine. And the only way that I thought I could get love, what I learned from people was that don't be extra. You ain't got to be extra. You know you're gifted. You know that God gives you favor. You know you don't have to go out your way to, tell nobody that. Right? Just live your life. And it shows. But God said that's not good enough anymore. Now it's time to share the story. So I want you to buckle down. And hopefully you'll join me in these messages that will be coming forth. It's my story. But I'm convinced it's not only my story. See, I now know that I am a chosen one of the Most High. He loves me. I'm his baby. Before I even had the experience that converted me to Christianity, let's say, where I first really recognized God, right? Or the presence of this powerful force that was in me, inside me, right? Not so much around me and what I could see, although I could connect to it through nature. Trees and a lot of the birds and different animals and the dirt. You would think I'd have been a horticulturist or something, as connected as I am to the earth. But I purposely did not make those endeavors because I was trying not to shine too bright. But shine bright I do. You see that fire behind me? You see that? You can't just put your fire out. You gotta let that fire burn and you gotta let it come forth. So that's where and what I'll be doing. Hey, go, because the ride is going to be hilarious. That's all I can say.